personal communications and leadership development to us to small to mid-sized businesses. We're based here in Colorado Springs, but our services are available both in the USA and internationally. Don't forget to go to Amazon. We're getting close to Christmas. Pick up a copy of one of my 3 books that are available under Dr. Frank Sinclair. Now, welcome to the Be Encouraged show, where we provide a platform for entrepreneurs and community-focused individuals to expand their reach and create a positive impact in the Colorado Springs community, right? Yeah, with wonderful people that we get to come on with us to do that. Today's episodes, as always, is brought to you by our awesome sponsors. Have you heard of Joshua Geary? And if not, why not? There he is. He's waving at me right now. So you need to give this guy a call. Why, would you say? Because his company, Crescio, they offer pay-what-you-can consultations to underprivileged entrepreneurs in Colorado Springs and teach people how to leverage ChatGPT for their business. Visit them at Crescio.com to learn more. Also, the great Christopher Roberts, who isn't with us today either. He's with Pro Media, Colorado's leading service for professional video and photo content, with an emphasis on sales process, videos to convert your prospects into paying customers. What a novel idea. Paying customers. What do you think of that? Can you roll with that?
I can roll with that.
Yeah, I know you could. Check them out at ProMediaColorado.com. So let's dive in and introduce our guests on the show today. First of all, Bella, thank you very much for bringing your handsome husband with you. Somehow I knew he would come. You know, I was saying, who is Bella going to bring? Oh, Khai. Yes, yeah. And giving me the great privilege and opportunity to meet this young lady Anyway, this is Isabel Alexis Northington. What a name. That sounds like
you can call me Bella.
Royalty. Right? Did I know that before? I didn't call you that when we did the wedding, did we? No, I just called you Bella.
I don't remember. Everything was a blur.
These newlyweds. I know. Guys, eat your heart out. She's a doctor of physical therapy, Osteopractor.
You got it.
Woo!
Nice job.
Boy, that's harder than your name almost, Khai. And has the distinction of FAAOMPT, an honor of the top 1% of her profession. What's all those letters mean?
It's a fellow of the American Academy of Orthopedic and Manual Physical Therapists.
Oh my. No wonder they only give it the top 1%. No one can say it.
We have to memorize it, right?
Right. What an honor. Also, Alli Mahon. Did I say it right?
Close. Mahon. Close.
Mahon. Okay. Alli owns Rocky Mountain Tutors and recently opened a Montessori school.
Yes.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're actually adding an elementary component as well. So we have the one-on-one tutoring that is in person as well as online. And then we have an in-person Montessori preschool. And then now we're opening up an elementary pod for homeschool families that homeschool their children, but also want a licensed teacher to assist with their homeschooling journey.
Yeah. Alli didn't even give me a chance to ask a question, did
Sorry.
she? She just went right into it, man. I mean, like, you want to switch seats here? Or?
No, you're good.
Okay. All right. I love that. Someone that's passionate about her space, right? And Mikhail Cherepanov.
Oh, you got it.
Woo! We call him Khai for short, thank God. And Khai is a creative entrepreneur who has recently started a company called NeuroXP. And we're going to start with you, young lady, because you're the gracious panel host with us today.
Okay.
Yeah, Bella, give us a little back. Who is Bella Northington?
Who's Bella Northington? That's a loaded question.
On purpose.
So started when I was a child. No. Gosh, I would like to say, I've always had a heart to help people, sometimes to my demise, but also I grew up with my mom very ill. She became sick when I was a year old with a very rare diagnosis, severe case. So she was bedridden for quite some time, and I just knew then that I enjoyed helping people and it was part of my identity. So I knew I wanted to do something in the medical field. At first, I thought I wanted to be a surgeon, and I went to UCLA. I attended medical school, and it was difficult because I think what a lot of people don't realize, not only is medical school very, very difficult, but
most people don't get there, so of course we don't realize it.
well, you're bound by, and a lot of healthcare professionals are, but we're bound by what insurance companies dictate what we can do for our patients. So you may think, okay, this technique and procedure is going to save my patient. This is the best for them. But then the insurance company doesn't approve it. So you have to go with a lesser intervention, so to speak. And you know in your heart that that's not what's best for my patient.
Right.
But it's either they get the surgery or not, or they have to get something of lesser than what you would have recommended. So it is a lot of pressure. And as a surgeon, you would be more life and death. So I figured, that's just not
So you didn't complete that.
too much. It's too much pressure. It was a lot of pressure for me. And also I enjoy sleep. A lot of surgeons, one of my good friends, you better be watching this podcast, Dr. Nene Bessie. I don't know how she functions. She's like a rare human species. She's a surgeon. And you met her at the wedding. She was one of my bridesmaids.
That was one of your bridesmaids? Oh, okay.
They're all gorgeous and successful and all the things. But,
just like
but she just doesn't sleep. I don't know how she does that. But she's phenomenal. I just think there's some humans, such as myself, that really value sleep and need it to function in life. So I opted to switch gears and become a doctor of physical therapy, where I could focus on function rather than more life and death. You're focusing on quality of life. And I appreciate that because it fits my wheelhouse. I enjoy health, fitness, anything health and wellness, working out, eating healthy. Khai and I have been very good not eating any of our kids' Halloween candy. So,
wish I could say that.
But
well, I didn't eat your kids' Halloween candy anyway.
Ours is hiding right now in our home. Yeah, but who is Bella? I like to say someone who likes to help, someone who cares for people. I love humans. I love being able to make a difference, positive difference in people's lives.
Yeah, that's incredible. We're going to come back because I want to talk about because people that are heart-led, and I can tell you are a heart-led human, right? First time I met you, because you're brilliant, I mean, mindful and very, very smart, but your heart really, really does get in your way sometimes.
Amen.
Right? Yeah. So I want to talk about how our greatest strengths become our most devastating weaknesses at times as well, right? Yeah, I'll come back to that. I want to talk to you first, though, man. Yeah, tell people where you're from. Tell us a little bit of your story, Khai.
Well, I have quite a story. I came originally from Russia. My mom brought me to the United States back in 2002, and I've been traveling ever since. I've lived in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Florida, Texas, and now Colorado. So I guess I'm a traveler of sorts. Something drew me to Texas back in 2020 during the COVID lockdown. And I believe it was this beautiful lady that I got to meet. And now, we have a family in Colorado Springs area that is growing fast. And we just kind of try and do our own thing here with, me being the creative type. Yeah. And her having the brains and, the drive for the things that we try and accomplish together. So I think it works.
Yeah, I think Khai's probably being a little humble there. He's a very, very smart guy. By the way, in addition to that, I think it's a complimentary smartness that's going on with you two people. And so we'll come back and I'm going to dig a little deeper with you, man, because I think it's awesome. The track for people that are immigrants, and we all, historically are immigrants, but being not that far removed from immigration, coming over, I want you to share with some of our community some of the challenge of immigration. Okay, is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yeah. Now,
all right.
I get to talk to you.
Okay.
You were ready, weren't you?
We'll see, right?
No, you've already shown that.
Okay.
Yes, you have. And don't give me your resume.
Okay.
I want to know a little bit about who Alli is.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So I guess I would say the biggest thing is family is probably most important. So I'm a mom. I have a 9-year-old, and my partner and I, my husband and I, we live in Manitou Springs, and we just absolutely love having a family, and being a mom is probably the biggest and most important thing to me.
You didn't start out as a mom, did you?
I did not.
You
No,
were-
9 years ago I wasn't, right?
Right.
But I've always been really passionate about helping, very, very similar to Bella's story. I taught public school for 10 years. I have a master's degree in elementary education, and I went in wanting to be an educator and making a difference. But I also, why? I just feel like our world needs it, and honestly,
But what's happened in you, Alli?
Okay.
All right, because these high ideas are really, really cool, and I love them. Sure. Right? We all want to make a difference in life, in the world. We'll get back to that because I know you're making a tremendous difference. But there's a reason that we end up where we end up. Okay. So where did these high ideas about education and the difference you can make come from?
So I have a similar story, like to Bella. I had a sick mother as well. And I always had to kind of be the leader of the family and take care of siblings and things like that. But I always found that I learned from children, just what I could learn from children and study what they could teach me. And I just loved that. So I was like, what can I do that I enjoy, that I can be creative, I can have fun, but I can also give, but I can also learn from them and open myself up. And so education was kind of just
an outlet.
An outlet. And I went the traditional outlet. I have a master's degree. I taught public school for 10 plus years, etc. But I was always an entrepreneur at heart.
How many siblings did you have?
I have one. Yeah.
Oh, you only have one?
Yeah, I only have one. Yeah, I know, right? I make it sound like I have a million. Sometimes it felt like that. I just have one little brother.
And what's the draw from Manitou Springs? Because if people look at the different sectors around Colorado Springs and where we live, normally there's a draw, something that connects us to the region that we settle in. Yeah. What's Manitou Springs?
So we live in Manitou, but we live at the top of Crystal Park.
Oh,
so
I know where that is.
Okay, you do. So we're basically on top of the mountain, literally right behind Cameron's Cone.
Okay, so you're not really a Manitou Springs.
No, I'm not. I drive through the town, but it's just the nature, the outdoorsness. It's a great place for our family to be a family and not have to be connected to technology and all of that stuff. So,
that's so awesome. Yeah, so that's the draw.
Yeah, so that's my draw, is that I get to live in the mountains, but only be 30 minutes away from town.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, I promise you that we'll dig into the value of what you're trying to bring here. But here's the deal. The reason that we have this show is because we're trying to infuse hope and encouragement into our community. That's the point, right? That's the overarching point of us coming together this morning. And I've found that typically somebody's phone is ringing. Who's that?
Not it.
All right, what the heck? Try my other phone. Okay, so back to you. I mean, wow, what a journey you've been on.
You too.
Yeah. Just for you that don't, for the four of you in the Springs that don't know it, I was a homeless guy living in the park here in Colorado Springs. That was my re-entry here 40 years ago. And someone had to step up and say, you know what, Frank, I see some worth in you. I see some opportunity in you. I can look beyond the obvious and I can see something that can give back to humanity. And so I tell my story all the time. When that's my keynote address as well. So what's yours?
Yeah, well, I was never homeless. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would have done. But I did grow up without wonderful parents.
I met them.
You did.
Yes.
They always encouraged me. Be encouraged. They always told me that, when you aren't told you can't do something, you don't believe you can't do something. So I never knew that most people with my upbringing and my background don't end up getting to where they want to be. It's hard. And so I grew up in a rundown mobile home. There was mold everywhere, and rodents would come in. My dad would like hammer a board over to save me from the rodents. The floors were soft. We had water damage everywhere, and it was rough. I couldn't bring friends over. Our home was infested with cockroaches and bugs and spiders and all the things. So yeah, you know how that is.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And kids are cruel because we were in this trailer park area amongst these mansions, and so.
Are you serious?
I'm so serious. Yeah.
Oh my.
All my friends, super wealthy. We did struggle at the end of the month. My dad got paid once a month. My mom wasn't working, obviously, because she was very ill. So my dad was oftentimes working 2 to 3 jobs to try to support us and her medical bills, because we were trying to get approval for all these alternative surgeries that she needed. So long story short, that end of the month would hit, and my dad would go to all the convenience stores and try to get like the leftover popcorn and Coke and hot dogs and all the things so we could eat. And all my friends thought, oh, you're so lucky, you get like popcorn and nachos for dinner every single night. And I'm like, man, I would love some steak and some salad. But you know, I did make friends, but kids are cruel.
I've been a cruel kid, and I've been on the other end of the cruelty as well. Most of us don't fess up that sometimes we're that cruel kid, right? Particularly if we have any advantage over, when you hurt people, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think I was a quiet child. I definitely was friendly, and I loved meeting people, but it was hard. I would oftentimes like try to hide where I lived, and when people found out, I was embarrassed. And now looking back, I'm really thankful I grew up that way, because it really helps me appreciate all the hard work and where I am now.
Yes.
Like if you compare the rundown mobile home that I lived in to our house, we have another house in Texas. It's gorgeous. To me, it's a mansion. It's beautiful. It's like almost 5,000 square feet.
Yeah, that's pretty big home.
And so it's like it's like almost like a life swap. Like this shouldn't have been my life, right? And so yeah, just great parents, great upbringing. Always telling me that where you live, what kind of clothes you have, how much money you have, does not dictate the soul inside.
Yes.
And so I'm thankful for that.
We have so much similarities. My parents finished 6th and 8th grade respectively. And so no educational background to go on, but they always were, oh, I'm so proud of you. I was academically good. Yeah, that kind of came natural to me. So they were always, oh, my first one to finish my sister finished high school, but first one to finish college in my family. I mean, the whole lineage of my family. So those things, I just see the humility that it brings to you, because you got a 5,000 square foot home in Texas, and you're living in Colorado. Why?
We bought a home in Colorado, not nearly as luxurious, but it's still beautiful.
You bought a home.
It's still 5 bedrooms actually. Yeah, we bought a home. We have 2 homes. We're lucky for that. One's being rented out by another bridesmaid of ours. But why Colorado? I think just coming from Texas. So I've only lived in Texas, California, back to Texas, and so I think like now us Texans, when we think of Coloradans, we think y'all are just fit, happy, luxurious lifestyle, snow bunnies. At least that's my mentality. Very intellectual. I must get that menu. Just athletic and happy, endorphins.
I did not get that memo.
Hey, you fit the bill, man. So the school system, and that, connecting with Alli too was amazing, because I really feel, so it's a choice state. So our mentality was, if we don't like our school, we can drive our child to any place, right?
Yeah, it's a choice.
It's very awesome. Yeah. In Texas, if you don't like the school that you're zoned to, you have to pay to go to a different school if they have room in our district. Yep.
Oh my. Okay.
And I was just thinking of how the children were growing up. Our oldest son in pre-kindergarten got punched in the nose, a bloody nose. He wasn't feeling safe at school. It was just not the area we wanted to raise our children and send to school. And there are some wonderful schools in the area. We just weren't finding finding where our children fit. And then also with our oldest son being legally blind, we just needed some more resources to help him out.
So we were fortunate enough to get you.
We're
Just say yes.
Yes,
Thank
we're
you.
thankful to be
Right.
here. We're very thankful to be in Colorado. We've loved it so far. It's only been 4.5 months.
I know, right? Yeah. I somehow got into that lane with you guys, which is so cool. Khai, you on here it told me that you are a new business owner. Is that right? Started a company called, I don't know how new it is, but NeuroXP. Tell us about that, Khai.
So I've always had the creative itch in me. Been messing with computers and Photoshops since I was probably 10 years old. Mm-hmm. Started getting into photography, videography, that kind of thing. And while I'm still trying to find my niche, I've been more serious about pursuing that calling. Currently, I'm still doing IT work. That's what kind of got my technical background in. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to get this thing out of the gates and hopefully one day have it be my full-time gig.
So full-time gig, so videography, photography, is that it?
That's it.
That's what you want your full-time gig to be.
Yeah.
It's where your passion lies.
That's it.
Yeah.
Messing
you look
around
so
things.
passionate.
Huh?
You're looking so passionate. Don't let us stereotype Russian people now saying, is that true? The passion doesn't rise.
Hey,
I bet you get passionate when you're with this young lady.
He's so He's so talented. He finds beauty in all the common things.
Oh, does he?
That's true. I'm not as well spoken as some, and I think I'm pretty humble about my skills, but I think sometimes the word speaks for itself.
Yeah, we'll come back though, because I want you to throw the humility out of it. Humility. And when we think of humility, have you ever seen an arrogant person? Mm-hmm. Did people have to tell you they were arrogant? No, because it kind of bleeds out of them, right? Arrogance is a heart condition. It's not something that we do outside. It's got nothing to do with us bragging a little bit about what we bring to the table and how we serve other human beings. It has everything to do with people considering that as their identity. And it comes from the insecurity of identifying what I do with who I am. And that's a totally different thing, right? So I wouldn't know if you could be arrogant if you wanted to be, right? You might could. Maybe you can tell me something different. But from my vantage point, I don't see that. You're not arrogant. You're awesome. Yeah, those are your bad points. I love your name.
Oh, well, thank you.
I do. Are you native?
Not to Colorado.
Where are you from?
I grew up in LA. Yeah.
Little Alabama?
No, LA, Los Angeles. I was like, what? Totally not sorry. I grew up in Los Angeles. I've lived here 14 years. 14?
Yeah. Oh, welcome. You're relatively new.
Yeah.
My wife is from San Luis Obispo.
Okay,
California. Awesome. Yeah. I don't hold that against her.
Okay.
Yeah. We get along very well.
Well, that's good.
Alli, your background here, tell us about Rocky Mountain Tutors.
Yeah, so I was kind of, when you asked, who are you, where does this all come from? I grew up in a family switching custody a lot with a lot of instability, but the only thing that was stable was school. So as a child, I knew how to do school, and I knew how to do it well. So I was like, oh, okay, let's go to college, let's continue this, and even did my master's degree on what helps a child be a successful human, and it came to 3 factors. It came to if you have a good home life, a good school, or a good community, and if 2 out of those 3 were supportive, then you were more likely to be successful. Wow. And so I had a good environment, like community, and a good schooling, and so that kind of drew me into the education world, etc. And I know this was totally not your question. What was your question? Tell you about Rocky Mountain Tutors?
Yes.
So
that fit in Rocky Mountain
kinda,
Tutors.
right?
That was awesome.
Okay, so I had gone the traditional route and taught traditional public school, taught for 10 years, but I'd always been like an entrepreneur at heart, you know, #1 Girl Scout seller in LA County when I was a kid, door to door selling ornaments when I was like 7. I always like had a hustle going on even when I was really small.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I was trying to figure out like, okay, I want to help children. I want to educate, but I don't necessarily want to do it the traditional route. What can I do? So I started Rocky Mountain Tutors. How
long ago?
I started working for somebody else, and then I was like, why am I doing that? Like, I can run my own business. I know what I'm doing, so on and so forth. So officially, Rocky Mountain Tutors started a year ago in October.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
Awesome.
But then, and it was, you know, with being on top of that mountain up at Crystal Park, I do a lot of online, which is nice because I don't have to leave home as often. But I also wanted to get face-to-face with people.
Yes.
So I do in-person tutoring as well. And recently, within the last 6 months, I found that the homeschooling world really needs licensed teachers to assist with their homeschooling journey.
Yes.
So we've started a Montessori preschool.
They tell us Montessori, so people that can't uncover that word.
Right? You're like, what is that? So I went to Montessori as a child, and so did my husband.
What is it?
It's a type of teaching philosophy. It teaches children independence. It's, I guess the way you would explain it is, it's a multi-age classroom. So
Does it have Catholic roots?
Nope, it's not. It's from Maria Montessori, who is an Italian educator who's from several hundred years ago. She started it. But what she did was she gathered children of multi-age because she felt that the older kids could be leaders to the younger children and help assist teaching them, and vice versa. The younger children could learn from the older ones, so on and so forth. The biggest difference I would say between Montessori and traditional preschool is that I have many different activities that are at all different levels. So I could have a 5-year-old who doesn't know what a letter is or a sound or anything, and they're not going to stick out like a sore thumb because I'm going to pull them and give them their individual lesson exactly where they need. Or I could have a brilliant 3-year-old reading chapter books, and they're not going to stick out because I have, we call them works activities that are based at their level. So each child pulls the activities that they want, and so they're engaged. It's not like, hey guys, you have to do this worksheet right now, or it's time to do painting. You know, if they want to do an activity, they're doing it. And then while they're independently working, I'm pulling individual children or small groups, giving them exactly what they need.
Yeah, what grades are you teaching?
So right now, the preschool is age 2.5 to 5.
2.5 to 5 years old.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we're opening an elementary version as well, which will be K through 6.
And when is that happening?
We're planning to open in January.
The
elementary part. I have a couple students lined up, and we're getting ready to launch that. Yeah.
Okay.
And both of those are in-person options here in the Springs.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Yes. Yeah. So, doctor, physical therapy. I've had this shoulder redone. I need this one redone, but I'm kind of holding off because I hate PT.
Hey! It's a necessary evil.
But I hear some fantastic things about your space.
Thanks.
Who you are and what you do. So tell me, what differentiates Dr. Bella from other PTers?
Yeah, well, I can't necessarily say what other PTers do.
But you know, we have a thought process. We generalize everything, right? Yeah.
I have met some amazing PTs in this area,
yes.
and when I go on and look at reviews, they're really good.
Yeah.
So I'm impressed. I will say that I'm an osteopractor. What that means is that we focus a lot on spinal manipulation, dry needling. Dr. James Dunning is the originator of our fellowship program, and he is from another country, and he brings in a lot of those approaches that are not so westernized medicine.
Is it Eastern?
A bit, yeah. I mean, he does incorporate acupuncture techniques, but it's dry needling, but it goes a step further. You're breaking up scar tissue with an acupuncture needle, but you're clipping in electric current to it. So it's super cool because you'll see that muscle jumping. And so the muscle will twitch, twitch, twitch. And that twitch response is what's resetting the neuromuscular junction, which is a fancy word, a way of saying that it's allowing that muscle to turn on and turn off. So the brain associates how it feels to relax that muscle again. So you achieve that postural awareness. It's super cool. If y'all have not tried functional dry needling with NMES, I'm your woman. So I've seen it work myself. This young man here had some knee pain, one session, miraculously cured.
She's helped my family as well.
Yeah.
And that's true. Yeah, we work together. You see my babies, I see your babies. Baby.
One baby?
And
I have one baby.
we
Yeah,
have sons the same age.
Oh,
which
do
is
you?
just random.
Yeah, she
Not
didn't get the
planned.
memo, did
We
she?
didn't plan that 9
You know,
years ago.
Having babies is like Lay's potato chips. You didn't get that memo.
I didn't.
Yeah, I have 12 grandchildren.
Wow.
13 on the way.
That's a busy man.
Yes, I love it. I thank my kids every time I see them. You got, way to break. Only reason I had you were to have them.
Right. My mom said that her happiest day was not my birthday.
No.
Not when I was born, it was when her grandbabies were born. Got you, Mom.
Yeah.
Tattling on you.
We love you, Mom.
We do. No, she's awesome. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
was that your question? What was your question again? Alli and I were like,
Yeah, it's my fault. I can get you off because, you know, this whole brain kind of goes in 4 different directions. Because I'm just so absolutely enthralled by work that people do, what creates that work in their lives, and why they grow a passion for the things that they do in life, right? It just doesn't fall out of the sky.
Right.
I believe, and here's my philosophy, there's 8 billion people on Earth, only one you. Think about the astronomical number that is. And if that's true, which it is, doesn't it make sense that there's one reason that you were designed for? And I think every human should be seeking that out until they find it. And when they find their ultimate purpose on earth and begin to lean into that, everything changes. Everything changes. I'm sitting here today because this is what I was designed to do. I was put on earth for this moment to do this specific thing. And I know it. And it's so awesome because then there's no striving for things because you're where you're supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah. Do you feel that in the photography space and video space that you're in?
I am starting to. I've always bounced from thing to thing to thing most of my adult life. And, you know, starting in high school, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So I just did whatever made sense. I became an X-ray tech. After doing that,
Because the check didn't bounce, right?
That's right. And did that for 7 years. You know, became the clinic manager. I'm like, this is not what I'm supposed to be. So I quit. I started the IT career, and I've been doing IT for over 6 years now. And I still don't feel like it's the thing.
It's not the thing.
It's not the thing. And I told myself I should probably stop running away from what kind of got me excited to begin with when I was a kid. Creative stuff, you know, just messing around with Photoshop, enhancing photos, editing videos. I mean, doing anything creative that doesn't fully have to be technical. And I know it doesn't directly have to do with helping people, like, you know, feeling better or whatnot, but I think it still has.
Well, I feel better when my picture looks good.
Yeah, there you go.
How about you? Don't you feel better when your picture looks good?
Please make me look good.
It's not all about just physical stuff, dude, right? We're adding something. And when we lean into what we add, that's when we are helping humanity to the greatest degree. Yeah, so I hope you follow that. Don't be deterred.
I'm pushing.
All right.
Pushing.
Yeah.
Some people have an eye for natural beauty, and I always, you know, we all have our insecurities, and I'm like,
No.
I don't want to have a photo without my hair done or makeup, but I've never seen a picture of myself that I've liked natural, like without makeup, hair first thing in the morning, and he has that ability to catch natural beauty, not just in me, but in all things.
But especially in you.
Very special. You're very
But
special.
especially in you.
Well, thanks.
Yes, indeed. That's so awesome. Look at that. And that's one of the reasons that people come along beside us, right?
Mhm.
Because you are going to encourage that in him
Mhm.
and give him the confidence. Just go.
And she's been a huge inspiration.
Yeah.
In that
And vice
aspect.
versa.
Mhm.
Right? Yeah. That's what makes marriage cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. My wife is, there's no bigger cheerleader for Frank Sinclair on earth than Michelle Sinclair, which is really cool. I'm going to ask you a question right
Okay.
here.
All right.
Yeah. You're awesome. You know that, right?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, you are. Yeah, you're incredible. We're so glad that you're here and that Bella would give us opportunity to meet you. So, what is something you've had to overcome in your business this year, and how did you do it?
Yeah, just getting your name out there, generating leads. That's always challenging, especially as a startup, business, and our tutoring business and the two homeschool pods connected to it is our family's income. My husband's kind of the stay-at-home dad. He's a photographer as well.
I have a son-in-law that's a stay-at-home.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
and he works alongside
Yeah.
me in the classroom and does tutoring as well. So just getting over the fact of like knowing that this has to be your family's entire income, but not getting burnt out on it as well, and wanting to give 100% of yourself to the students that you're working with, etc. Is always just trying to find that balance. Is hard, along with being a mommy and wanting to be home and available for your own child. So trying to figure out the balance of like, well, tutoring tends to be evenings and weekends, but that's my family time as well. How do I make that happen? So by bringing in this homeschool pod has really helped with that, because I can work while my child is in school, and then I can be mommy at home, and then I have the opportunity to expand the tutoring and hire other teachers, etc., to do that. So I guess just trying to figure out the balance would have been kind of the problem, but then figuring out a way to tutor and work one-on-one with children during school hours.
Is it Allison?
It's Alexandria.
Alexandria.
I know, it's all fancy.
That's a pretty name.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, trying to balance those things, entrepreneurship is no joke.
For sure.
Right? It is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people all the time, it's supposed to be hard because it's the process, right?
Sure.
Yeah, if you're meant for it, it's going to celebrate you. If you're not, it's going to eliminate you.
Yeah.
Right? Both are good outcomes, because if you're eliminated, then you can go do the things you were designed to do.
Exactly.
Right? So it's good. I hear you. I'm an entrepreneur as well. Right? So and I feel you that it's a difficult space. I think sometimes, here's some entrepreneur advice for you guys. People try to market something they haven't branded. And that's hard to do.
Mhm.
So people throw good money out the bag trying to market something when they haven't established a brand for what they're doing. You're in a space that not a lot of people are in. So there's not a lot of exterior pressures from other people to make you as good as you can be, right? So
Okay.
concentrate on you. Don't look at any of that stuff. Make it a brand so people know what their expectations of your business is.
I love it.
Yes? Yes, which is really, really, really cool. You've done that. You branded in Texas. And how's it been going for you here since you moved?
I think it's been great. I have also not done well with marketing myself. I think the hardest thing is not being crazy busy. So this is the first time in 20 years that I haven't been working at least 50, 60 hours a week. So that's been an adjustment. And at first it felt wrong and weird. And now I've embraced it. But now I'm trying to find that kind of happy space where I feel like I'm helping people and I'm giving enough time to my business, but I'm also putting family first.
Yes.
My mom lives with us as well. And
Yes,
she can't walk. She's wheelchair bound, so she does need a lot of help, and she has a lot of doctor's appointments to go to. So we're trying to navigate our schedules. But when I commit to a patient, I also want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to get them better.
And do you do insurance?
I do not. In
Yeah.
Texas, we take insurances, 13 different insurances.
Okay.
But here is all cash pay.
Cash for
Mhm.
care? Yeah. Yeah, my primary physician, I'm a cash for care patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care is my doctor.
There you go.
Yeah, my wife as well.
And
Yeah.
what is the difference that you notice? I have a question for you. Between seeing an insurance provider versus a cash pay provider.
Oh, it's so simple. But first of all, you got to go in an insurance provider, the speed that they have to, no eye contact, taking notes, doing the whole appointment, etc. I go see Dr. April. I almost have to try to escape. She's keeping me so long.
She's talking a long,
Yeah.
spending a long time with you. Yeah, we're not bound by
Right.
a time crunch
Absolutely.
or how much we have to bill out or productivity standards. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and you can tell that she truly cares about my health and the outcome of our relationship,
Mhm.
right? And it's not the doctor's fault on the medical side.
No, it's not.
That's the protocol.
It's our healthcare system.
It's a system,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, so that's why I like cash for care.
And that's exactly why I wanted to do that. Is just because you, as a doctor, it's so difficult because you want to help as many people as you can, but you also need to have your business run.
Yep.
And I think what a lot of people may not realize, maybe they do, is that we have to, at least when you own a private practice, you're paying all your providers. And if the insurance company doesn't reimburse you or it puts it to patient responsibility and then you're not paid, you've literally paid for your patient's care out of your own pocket, because you're still paying your providers.
Absolutely.
And if you do that too much, your business won't make
Won't
it.
have a business.
Right. And a lot of people, I feel, they just think, oh, she can afford it. It's a business. It's a bit, but we're small business.
Yeah.
It's a little different. So,
And even
it's
if
rough.
you can afford it, stop looking at providers that way.
Mhm.
I'm telling you that, this is a business that's being ran. And our community is no better than our small business success. And it never will be. So we need to support our small business. It's not, bluntly, it's not your business how much money she makes or doesn't make, right? We just want to make sure that she's providing a service that's valuable to you. Yeah.
And that we're able to focus on individualized care, no cookie cutter treatments.
Absolutely. Yeah, get off that train, good grief. One thing that you want to say, Khai, to our community to encourage them, what's something that you would tell our community encouraging?
I would say that you're never too old to start, pursuing your dreams. Dig back into what made you kind of excited about something back in, your early years, and kind of bring that passion back. If you've been working like a dead end job for most of your life, you haven't found something that motivates you. Just dig in back to your childhood, and I think that's a good well of inspiration, and trying to reignite that flame that you had, we all had back when we were kids.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've taken energized, incredibly curious and excited children and turned them into something that's dead and honest and not engaged adults.
That's right.
Yeah. And you were so on point there, my friend, in what you said. We really need to dig back. You can't look forward very well if you're not willing to look back. Yeah, and that's on both sides of the spectrum. The negatives, because the pain is what creates the purpose.
That's right.
That's true.
Yes. So, how about you, young lady? What would you say to encourage our community?
That's a hard one. I guess I would just say, kind of like what Khai was saying, that, if you are around children, really look at them as an example instead of, hi, I'm the adult, my job's to teach you. I feel that, the youth has so much more to teach us. Like you were saying, that spark, that motivation, that encouragement, the curiosity. And so just, try to connect with, younger humans and see what you can learn as an adult from them.
Indeed. Yeah. You're an advocate, aren't you?
I am.
Just love these babies.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of rolls off of you. You can tell that it does. Thank you for doing
It's
that.
fun. It's enjoyable. And I'm
They're
just
not a
blown away
burden.
daily.
They're not a burden, are they?
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Not at all. Yes. How would you encourage our community, Bella?
Oh man, I just like to let our community know that it doesn't matter where you've grown up, how much money you came from, your past does not dictate your future. We're all capable and worthy, and I believe we only have one life, and it doesn't matter if you start today, tomorrow, as long as you start pursuing your dreams. I don't think you can fail as long as you keep trying. And if anybody thinks that none of us have failed, I know personally I have failed more times than I've succeeded. I've made so many wrong decisions in business, and I feel like that has brought me more growth than anything.
Yes, absolutely. We fail forward, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I know how to jack it up. Right? I'm very acquainted with how to mess it up, but that has really created a space for me to be able to move forward as well. What's the name of your business again?
So I have two. One in Texas, it's called Bella Therapies LLC, and we have a team of about 12 individuals. And honestly, the most genuine, kindest people. It's a 5-part interview process, and everybody that works there has a heart of gold left out there.
You have to go back?
We go back. We've gone back maybe once every 1 or 2 months.
Every couple of months or
Just
so?
to
Okay.
say hello, check on the business,
Right.
and then we have family still down there.
You know, you've done a wonderful job of creating a business.
Thanks.
Because don't we all want to create a business that we don't have to be at?
Well, I have a great management team. Shout out to Bryan Pardue and his management team. And Dr. Mackenzie Mayo, they run the practice for me, and have an operations manager as well on site. And then the company I just created is called the Wellness Institute of Colorado Springs. It's brand new. We see patients birth to geriatric. I originally started in pediatrics and then went and did a residency in orthopedics and then a fellowship in advanced manual therapy through the American Academy. And it's been great. We love Colorado. We hope to stick here for a while.
We hope you do too.
Yeah, thanks.
We do, yeah. We have a reach of up to 40,000 people a week on this show, and we're glad to be able to push that message out to the people. The Wellness Institute of Colorado Springs and Dr. Bella Northington is there and ready to serve you. So, how do they reach you if they need to?
So we have social media, Instagram, Facebook, and then through my business card. We have a website as well, which they can send a message, they can call, and it actually goes directly to me. I don't have any admin right now.
Okay.
I have an amazing IT person, even if they may not be IT altogether. But yeah, it's a small business.
Indeed.
Helps run all the back end stuff.
Yeah, it may not. As the Wellness Institute of Colorado Springs continues to grow, you may not have this opportunity to connect with Dr. Bella directly. Here's the opportunity right now that you get to connect with her directly and get the wisdom that she's infusing in our community. So, Khai, Neural XP, how do they reach you in your services?
I am on Facebook as well as at my email info@neuralxp.xyz. It isn't real email. Do not treat XYZ as it's not. But that's it. Yeah, I'm starting out, like I said, finding my vision, but I'm ready and eager.
We're ready and eager.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, I'm excited to see where your vision takes you. And if it is your vision, it'll pull you along.
That's right.
That is so cool, right? Yeah, how do they reach you, young lady, at Rocky Mountain Tutors and Montessori School?
Yeah, so we're kind of in the process of rebranding, so I need to connect with Khai. I was trying to figure out how to take these 3 separate educational services and encompass it as one. So we're rebranding as Rocky Mountain Enrichment. And our website's under construction, but we will have RockyMountainEnrichment.com up and running in the very near future.
Rocky Mountain Enrichment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And then we also have Facebook, RockyMountainEnrichment.com, or Facebook, through Facebook, Rocky Mountain Enrichment. And then also, like Bella said, just text, give me a call, but that's kind of encompassing all 3 educational components Bella and I have been talking about, adding on a summer camp, an educational summer camp, and just expanding it. So we feel like that's.
Yeah, so you got her full endorsement, don't you?
I do.
Yeah,
I love working with her boys. I love watching them grow.
That is so cool. Rocky Mountain Enrichment. Reach out, all you homeschool people. There's a huge homeschool movement here in Colorado Springs that's very expansive, and Alli is ready to talk to you about her services as well. Thank you all for coming today and being a part of the Be Encouraged show with Frank minus Lisa. And if you want to reach more people with your business, as I mentioned, we do reach up to 40,000 a week with our show and growing. Also, visit our new website at beencouraged.net to become a sponsor or request an on-site visit and get your business out there too. Our growing audience as well. Show 1 was awesome. Looking forward to coming back in just a few with show number 2. Blessings to you all, and as we leave, always be encouraged.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why should
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why should
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
So we're very excited to announce that the Be Encouraged Show with Frank and Lisa is now reaching over 30,000 listeners each week and growing.
And growing.
Why should
From my dad's 40-year grind as an immigrant mechanic to personal traumas such as my mom's suicide attempts, I know life's hurdles. That's why Crescio's mission is to empower the underprivileged right here in Colorado Springs. Are you struggling with sales? We'll help with leads and conversions. Or are you overwhelmed? We'll help with automating your tasks and optimizing your business for staffing. Are you ready to transform? Scan today to start.
Hi everyone, Frank Sinclair with the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa. Mine is Lisa. She's home, so send out some good vibes to my dear friend as she's getting better today. We want to welcome you back to our show this morning for hour number 2. And this is so amazing because I get to sit beside a guy I consider a mentor in my life. And just an amazing human being, so well known. But let me read his bio because I might just go on too long. So I want to try to contain.
You don't want me to.
In a prayer. I don't want you to read it. No. It doesn't look like you reading your bio. So this is Gary Barnes. He is a breakthrough business mastery coach, a high-performance business and sales strategist, national and international speaker, and award-winning #1 international Amazon best-selling author of 9 books. Also, Gary's clients have spanned over 7 countries. He has been featured on ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, PBS, and TEDx, and has given over 1,000 talks. Did they all pay you?
Their checks are in the mail.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I experienced that myself. But he is the founder of Gary Barnes International and has created several companies, personally selling over $280 million in products and services. Welcome, Gary. Indeed. And the great Amanda Nelson is with us as well. Amanda Nelson is a certified master of the Leadership Challenge and the founder of Choice Leadership, based out of Aurora, Colorado. My son lives there as well. And she is also a seasoned business professional with over 25 years of experience. She started when she was 8. And as an HR leader and executive in a variety of industries. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you.
We are so glad to have you here. And last and certainly not least, we have the very young-faced Bryan Pardue. Black people's the only ones supposed to be able to maintain the youth, dude. What's
we'll
up?
Talk after class.
Bryan Pardue, husband, father. I love starting with that. Isn't that amazing? Business owner and coach using up-to-date neuroscience, strategy execution, and a little bit of accountability to facilitate growth and transformation for good. Welcome all 3 of you. I'm assuming since Gary invited you that you're top shelf amazing human beings, and don't disappoint me, Gary. So that he's brought here with you today. So Gary, you are our show host, our podcast host today, because you asked these 2 individuals. I want you to give people a little bit of a summary. Who is Gary Barnes?
You know, one of the things that I have always said is Gary is the kid next door. And what I mean by that is, yeah, I've done some things, and I get tired every time I hear my bio and introduction read. But anything that I have done, anybody else can do. And so it's the old commercial, if Mikey can do it, you can do it. And the thing that I have had many careers in sales, I am unemployable. But the thing is that each one went into another one organically. I never planned to do any of them, including what I do now. And the ability to influence and impact lives and passing the torch. You and I are getting into where we're starting to encroach on the age where we can start looking at passing the torch.
Absolutely.
And that is something that's really near and deep to me and part of my mission.
Indeed, indeed. Where's your home of origin?
I could get really, my little kid got really fun with that one. But I was born in Long Beach, California.
Okay.
And so I'm a West Coast kid.
My wife
big
too.
Kid. And
Yeah.
you know, it's we migrated here in '84. So before everyone, you know, was coming here from California.
83.
And so we were about the same time.
Yeah.
But I grew up in Palm Springs. My dad owned a service station and was a mechanic. And so I grew up in Palm Springs. There's 2 types of people, the served and the server.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on the server side. But I went to school with kids that, were driving, Porsches and Lamborghinis and all these things, and Corvettes, and I drove a 1963 Studebaker Army Green station wagon. So I had the chickmobile. But the thing that it taught me
Did you
was,
take any pictures of those chicks?
oh yeah.
Just the mobile.
From afar. But the interesting thing is that it taught me how to serve. It taught me, that there were two sides of every coin. And so the blessings that, I have been given in my life, I'm as comfortable, we were talking about this earlier, I'm as comfortable in shirts and a t-shirt, shorts, or a tux. I can be in a gala or I can be in a hoedown. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I've never been to a hoedown. Okay, we won't dig in deeper there. But I don't even know what that means. I don't even know if I want to know what that
Next question.
Good old boy, good old girl.
Indeed. As we do this, the 6 degrees of separation just floods to the top as we're talking to people, right? Because I work for a company called Deluxe, the check printing company. I do leadership development for them. And I was in Palm Springs at least 4 times a year during that time in my life. Flew in, but from here, the base, yeah. So been to Palm Springs, and I don't know if those people still agree with you on the service side, because there was a lot of money in that joint, man. You're right, server and serving. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, so Amanda, so good meeting you.
Good to meet you as well.
Yeah, thanks for being amazing.
Well, thank you.
Indeed. I'm so excited to hear about your journey. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I have been an HR professional for longer than I'd like to admit, and the leadership challenge became a part of my life early on. Just picked it up and this work really speaks to me, and it stayed with me. And it's a model that's so deceptively simple, is what I like to tell people. It's simple things that you can do to be a better, a more effective, more credible leader right away. But there's so much work underneath it, and ultimately, I've made the decision to step out of corporate because, one, being an HR person, you deal with conflict all the time, right?
And why is that? And let me stop you there for a moment. That's always been a bugaboo for me, because being in leadership work and corporate life, we fell underneath the HR umbrella as well. And why do we call it HR when conflict resolution seems to be the only outcome?
That is right. And for me, my path and my journey has really become you sit in those spaces with people, and you're like, you're all such great people, and you have so many good things to bring to the world and gifts you can share, and we're spending our energy and our time on this thing that really doesn't matter.
Yes.
And so that really is what has made me decide to, bring this leadership work to the world. Is there's just, everybody can be a leader. The world needs better leaders, and just watching those lights come on for people, just so they can see the power that they have and what they can bring, is just, it gives me goosebumps, and that's why I do what I do.
So that's what you do. Yeah, so I'm circling back. Who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
Well, I am small town girl, middle of Kansas. I just tell people, small town, the good part about growing up in small towns is you know how to make your own fun.
Yes.
Right? So we're people, we can get at it, and so that's the core of who I am. I'm wife and mother. My kids are 11 and 8 now.
11 and 8.
Yeah, so they're good at it. They're professional children. They're very good at it. So
professional
children. Yeah. And so that's
Very
the
good.
heart of who
How
I
long have
am.
you been married?
17 years.
17. Me too.
Yeah.
When was your anniversary?
September 6th.
Oh, November 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had mine. Yeah, 17 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, awesome.
Well, thank
See,
you.
I told you, always there's something in common, right?
Yep.
Small town, don't make me dig.
Mhm.
How big was your town?
800.
Oh my. Yeah, smaller than mine. Mine 4,000.
That's
Yeah.
Metropolis. That's where we go on the weekends for fun.
And how long have you been out of corporate life now?
About 5 months.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I did it. I spent the last 2 years heading up I was a CHRO for a company out in Florida. So I was on a plane about 3 weeks out of a month for the last 2 years. So it was time to come back because I wasn't going to be able to go forward with therapy my kids were going to need. So
Your hubby.
yeah, he was earning same.
Yeah. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
The dreams were your ticket. Remember that comment? Yeah.
This was a singing show.
You get to audition next. So we have the great Bryan Pardue here, not to be confused with the chicken people.
Not the chicken people or the college people.
Or the college people.
Or the college people.
Pardue, give us a little background. Who are you?
I'm from a small town as well. Not so small as 800 or 4,000, but my high school is right next to a tobacco field.
Where?
In Kernersville, North Carolina.
I'm from North Carolina.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you said tobacco, immediately, because I'm so old.
Right.
And I used to work in the tobacco field.
Where in North Carolina?
Near Fayetteville, a little town called Red Springs,
Uh-huh.
North
I have
Carolina.
family in Fayetteville.
Oh, do you? I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
Yeah.
You gotta live somewhere, I guess.
You have to. You have to, yeah.
Yeah, Kernersville. Yeah,
That's right.
I know where that is.
So I moved to Denver at the ripe time of March 2020. Had to go see about a girl. So we've been married for 3.5 years. Our daughter is 7 weeks old tomorrow. So when Gary asked if I could be on a podcast, I said, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I can't promise that, any dates this far in advance, but
7 weeks old.
Mhm.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a handsome guy, by the way. So, girls, I'm sorry. Already done it. It's
That's
over.
right. Spoken for. Spoken for.
He came here for a girl, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So, Dad, what are you? 27?
Yeah. 26.
It's okay. Yeah. I'm magical on that, man. I'm
Sure.
telling you.
That's good.
Yeah. My grandson's a senior at Colorado School of Mines.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I have 12 grandchildren. By the way, beat them to death because my kids got the memo. 5 children and 12 grandbabies. So, give us a little bit of context around why your girl was here.
Why she was here?
Yes.
Well, she grew up here, and
Where'd you meet her?
we got connected through my mentor back in North Carolina. Happened to be her dad's mentor from 1984 when he was in school in Winston-Salem.
Oh, Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go Deeks. And so we got connected over email. Actually, I like to joke that we met online because this mentor of mine and her dad's connected the two of us, and we moved quick. The first email was sent in August of 2019. And we spent a lot of time getting to know each other long distance, so that when we met in January, there were very few questions. And so I moved in March, proposed in April, and we got married in June. Yeah.
You the kind of guy that a dad loves. If you're gonna be wooing my girl, man,
Sure.
don't be giving me these 5-year plans.
Yeah,
Right?
and so I either had to move to the great state of Colorado, or she had to move to Kernersville.
Okay. Thank God the great state of Colorado went out.
And so Colorado's
Kernersville's
it's a
not
lot
bad.
easier to look at.
Yeah.
Colorado.
Yes.
So I did the deal. Moved out across the country, loaded up the dog and everything I could fit in my car, and drove to Kansas. Took a 2-hour nap and drove to the condo I had. So did the full drive in 26 hours because the world was ending and people were wiping down groceries and don't go outside and
bottling up that toilet paper.
it was a panic, man. It was a panic. But it worked out.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Me too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You don't sound at all like a Kernersville, North Carolina guy. So, what's up? Where's the accent go?
I was born in Florida, but we moved when I was 3. And my wife says if I'm around people
Me
I grew
too.
up with, it comes out a little bit more, and I
Yes.
slow down a little bit.
Right.
I don't think it ever got me.
It never got you?
I was able to.
Oh man, it got me. I go home now and I still can't understand what my siblings are saying. Right? I'm like,
I was
I'm
able
just
to
nodding. I hope I'm nodding for the right reason, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there were 15 children. Yeah. So good, I'm number 2.
You really are from North
I
Carolina.
really am. Yeah, we were no joke, dude. It was all about having babies to work and the agriculture and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that's the story of me. I know, right? Yeah. That look on your face, man. It's okay.
It's not all that bad, Gary.
Well, good that you're number 2. You got to eat.
I know. I gave the beat down too. I mean, yeah. And that's what my wife today is funny because I won't share when we go out. It's still legal.
Yes.
Today. Right.
Like 7 to 5.
Right. No, get off my plate. No, I don't share. Right. So eat yours. That's why you ordered that. That's why I ordered this. Right. It works for me. Gary Renown, I know you don't, people that know you, my friend, understand. First of all, this story. How long have you been married?
Oh, golly. I've known her 50 years, but my story is much like Bryan's. I met her in October, first date in December, asked her to marry me in February and married in June. But
I did the same thing.
This next June, it'll be 50 years.
Ah! Bam! Did you guys hear that? 50 years is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I can
don't
imagine putting up with you for 50 years. I struggled at 50 minutes.
Okay, now what it actually proves is I'm a fantastic salesman. I have to do that from the time I get up. There's 3 rules to stay married. When a guy gets up, there's 3 things you need to say. Number 1 is I'm sorry. Number 2, it's my fault. And 3, yes, dear. If you do those 3, my wife keeps saying, quit saying yes, dear. And I go, yes, dear. We won't know why we're saying them. We just know it's true.
You're right. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry I said yes, dear. Right. So what a wonderful testament. All jokes aside, thank you very much for setting that example. I have 37 years of marriage, 2 women. One couldn't 20 years, and now I'm married 17 years. Yeah, my ex-wife must still It's funny because my ex-wife, my current wife, and I go on vacation together. We're all friends, so there's no angst or animosity or any of those things. So, which is really cool. Who gets to go on vacation with 2 wives in America? Not Mormon.
Not me. I enough.
Indeed. When did you make the transformation, Gary? What were you doing before? What was the seminal point in your life where you say, you know what? I need to speak. I need to write. I need to coach. I need to do all these different things in life. How did that bubble up and become a thing?
I think I've been a serial entrepreneur my entire life, but my original background in school was psychology and theology, and I was going into the ministry. And then I found that I was a square peg in a round hole because I asked way too many questions. And most religions don't like you thinking outside the box.
Yeah, I'm a Bible college graduate,
yeah,
so I can attest to that.
I got in trouble early, and I was putting myself through school in real estate. So I went into real estate full time. Out of that, I built one of the very first financial planning firms because there was a transition. I was one of the real beginning people in the industry. Built that to the top 3% in production over the years, but in the mix to that, I had my chaplaincy training. I'm also a certified police officer. They all kind of mixed and matched. Brian's laughing at me because what haven't you done? And
that's where I should have led with what haven't you done?
But at the end of my about 30 years in the financial planning building, top 3% in production, the industry was changing, and I knew that I wasn't able to serve my people the way I used to. And so what I wanted to do is do something different. But people chose me instead, and they kept saying, how did you do what you did? And also in 1988, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And I was right in the middle of my financial
19 when?
88.
Oh my.
And I was told I would be dead or in a wheelchair within 10 years. So I'm honoring I'm still here. And so, yeah. But now I'm on bonus time. But the thing is that people would ask me, how did I do what I did? And so I'd say, buy me a hamburger and I'll spill my guts. You know, and then it just evolved. I never planned, but I've been speaking since, you know, the age of 2. But my, you know, theology, the pastorate, you know, you're speaking all the time. So that was really something that's been all the way through. The coaching side, in doing the development, I hate writing. I hate writing. I do it because I have to. Plus, I never learned how to type. These are my typing fingers.
Yeah, me
We
too.
can trickle down. So I have spoken all my books, now with technology. But really, it's that process of looking at how can I serve? How can I, you know, teach and be able to give a little bit of what I have learned for those that it fits and be able to transmit it to others.
Indeed, indeed. So you said all that. I don't know if my question was ever answered in the midst of everything that you just said.
What's the question? You said what was the pivotal point? You know, okay, it actually was, because there was multiple pivotal points.
Oh, okay, okay.
So there was a pivotal point when I found myself not as the right fit as a pastor.
Okay.
And then I went into real estate, and there was a pivotal point where I saw people doing bad things as far as investments within the economy at that time, and became a financial planner. And then when there was a pivotal point, and all the other things I did in between. But so there was multiple pivots.
Okay, I'm with you.
Thank you.
I'm tracking.
Stay.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. It's hard to stay up with you. Yeah. So, Amanda.
Yeah.
What's your connection to Gary? And why are you guys laughing? Should I not have asked? Or okay. What's your connection to Gary? And are you full time into this thing now?
So I am. So Gary and I met actually probably 8 weeks ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So I
don't
really
date.
Well, we did. So I, you know, I kind of took the summer off. I know.
I love to make it. Like that was
good. So yeah, so I, you know, kind of stepped out of that role, and I was kind of taking the summer off, just getting back into it with my kids, and you know, and decided, okay, it's time to start. You know, when I've got to start meeting people, right? I got to let people know I hung up my shingle and I'm doing this thing, right? So I met Gary through networking with Tribe.
Oh,
yeah.
We were there on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we met via Tribe. Said I want to know you, and we went out and had breakfast, and then you know the rest is history.
Yeah.
So that's how we.
Is he your coach now? No.
No, above my pay grade.
Oh my goodness.
No.
But
Jerry couldn't afford it.
What I will say, you know, with Bryan and with Amanda, I read people like you very quickly. When I see quality, I know quality.
Yes.
And that's why they're here.
well, thank you, Gary. That means a lot.
Yeah, funny. I told you were amazing, didn't I?
Thank you.
That's how we led this thing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now you're making a shift, young lady, into the infamous world of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
How's it going?
It's, you know, you get up every day and you go at it again, right? So
Yeah.
it's all about meeting people in relationships and helping people out. You know, I think, you know, the thing that if I could share with anybody, you know, going through the entrepreneur, you know, building a business, it's about thinking about what you can give to others, and the business will come, right?
Yeah,
so that's where I'm at, is just meeting people, working with people, and how can I help you with what you're doing, and eventually all those things, all those pieces are going to fit together. So
Indeed. So Amanda, I hear you. There's a book in the 80s that came out called the Leadership Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you familiar with that one? Did you, is yours based on that premise, or is this something?
That is the work.
That is the work.
Yes,
that book.
That is the work.
Oh,
yes. So
okay.
So I work with, I know Jim and Barry who wrote the book.
Yeah.
I go out and
How do you
work
know
with
them?
When you're a certified master, you go to all their events and
That's
things,
right.
and you get to know them. So
These guys are
they have
world
their
famous.
forum, and so that's really what I've done. And so they're on their 7th edition, just released last year. And that's what I teach is the leadership challenge. And they do it, the study goes on, and they do it with what's called the leadership practices inventory. So basically that gives people real life feedback on behaviors, because the best part about the work is leadership is an action.
Yes,
Leadership
it
is
is.
something you do, right? It doesn't exist between your ears. It exists in what you actually do, right? So the work itself is based upon behaviors you can start tomorrow. As soon as your feet hit the ground, you can start working on these things. And the more you do them, the more credible and effective you will be.
Yeah.
And so my work is to give people, the LPI gives them a personal roadmap.
Yeah.
And then we just work through, here's all the different ways that you can show up as a leader, and helping them find their own leadership voice.
Indeed.
So it's just fun.
Yeah. When I was in corporate world, it was one of the top shelf books that we're required
Absolutely.
to read as well, and to implement in leadership development as well. So I got a touch point there, right?
Yep,
so
absolutely.
yeah, understanding some of the work that you're doing in space today, you're gonna do terrific.
Thank you.
You know that, right?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to do the work. So every time I get an opportunity to talk about it, I just, it's my jam,
Yeah, like Maxwell says, if you think you're leading and no one's following, you're simply taking a walk.
That's right.
Right, so one of my favorite sayings. So Barry, coming over to you, what's your relationship with my friend Gary? And it says here business coach. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I actually met Gary the same way through networking events. I think it was Tribe as well.
It was.
And I heard him give his talk at the networking event, and I said, I want to buy that man a coffee. And that was probably 6 months ago.
Yeah, 6 8 months.
So I started Peak One coaching. This January will be 2 years. And it's really based on the principle that life is complex, but it doesn't have to be complicated if you know which truths you're following, if you know what the truth is. And so one of the first principles I work on with clients is what's going on. Let's define status quo. Now we have metrics, and now we can adequately decide where we're going. And when we get there, we'll reevaluate and define status quo again and see if anything needs to change or move or be gotten rid of. So just keeping things efficient, but not in any sort of guru way, right? Helping people define how they're wired and build a plan that works for them is really where I've seen the most transformation happen for people. So not necessarily any secret wisdom I'm hiding or have figured out that you have to pay me $1 million and you can take my class to find the secret wisdom. It's let's sit down together and figure out what this is and where we're going with it.
Yeah. What led you into this space?
It's a great question. We were talking about it on the drive down here. I didn't go to any sort of college, didn't do any, higher education. I was the 18-year-old with 7 part-time jobs, moved out on my own and was organizing bills and all this. And just got frustrated with a lack of actual change. And there was a lot of healing that needed to happen there.
In you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why?
From just growing up in a small town, seeing the hurts around me and my family and on my street growing up, and needing to realize that the world is a lot bigger than Kernersville, North Carolina. And I think through working so hard at such a young age, I was able to develop a work ethic, and there were some great attributes that come from hustling way too hard for too long. But also, I think the biggest change that came out of that was getting frustrated with that lifestyle, and kind of coming to the decision that it's okay to pursue the things that I'm interested in. Right.
What a novel idea.
Right.
Yes.
And the 70-hour work week and the blood, sweat, and tears is so glorified in this country.
I know, the grind.
But it's awful. It's awful.
Yeah. I'm reading a book right now that's called To Hell with the Hustle.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to put that on my list. Yeah, and so helping people really define why. What's important? Why do you need to go there? What's the point of all this? I think has been very transformational for the clients I've worked with, on top of relaxing a little bit.
Yeah. Do you get pushback because of your age?
Definitely.
You do?
Definitely.
Yeah. So a lot of people, it's really kind of hard to overcome the aspects of being young and
absolutely
people feeling like you really have something to infuse into their lives, right?
Right. And after I wrestled with the question of how am I wired, what am I made to do, and the answer to that being helping other people answer that question and acting on it. The answer to, people say, you're only 26, what do you have to offer? Well, really, if you're looking for a consultant or an advisor or a mentor or a counselor, nothing. But if you feel like there's too much going on and you need to consolidate your efforts and spend more time doing the things that are actually productive, taking those small steps every day, I've got a lot to offer. We can get to work.
I love that answer. Bam on that answer, my man. You notice how he took things off the table? That if you're looking for this, it's not me. Right. You don't get very many people in this space that do that. Right? No wonder you were looking at quality. Yes?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm honored to be here and be associated with these two.
Well, we're honored to have you.
Thank you.
Indeed. Yeah, great answer, my friend. Yeah. Did you get that on video? Did you get that answer?
We're recording? Okay.
Yeah, we got that one, right? Okay. I'll make sure I get that answer. I might put that on the wine so that we can just continue to play that. That's hard to get across to people of any age. Yeah, the eliminate. This is what I'm not. Okay, so if you're looking for those things, then you need to go somewhere else. And matter of fact, I know some other people that probably you can
you need to talk to Gary.
Exactly. You've been doing you've done so much for so many over time, my friend. We just love you. The first time I met you, I knew this was a guy that resonated for me. The things you were saying, it was almost mimicking my mind. I was going, oh my God, someone that thinks similarly. Yeah, and it's so awesome. So, what's your favorite thing to do at this stage in business and life?
The short answer, which I'll give you, is to hear the stories behind the story. And to me, that doesn't matter if you're 26 or 30 or 50 or 80 or everyone has a story.
Everyone.
And today, people are not being listened to. That's why in my sales training, I say, get rid of the word sell. It's about sharing. It's about opening doors. It's about listening. It's not about speaking. And in fact, when I do speaker training, I tell the people, you're looking at how to speak, and really it's about how to listen to the audience. And when we're listening, we're being efficient, we're being effective, we're connecting on a human level, and we're missing that. We have so much technology in our lives today. We're so disconnected by being connected that when somebody truly knows that you care about them in that moment and nobody else, that's where Bryan talks about magic. You know, that's when truly the magic happens.
That's when the magic happens.
And the challenge is they'll tell you more than you maybe want to know.
And I'm okay with that because we've opened the door, right?
Content.
Yes.
And then it's like what Bryan was saying, then we know whether or not we may be the right connection, or because of our association, to pass them on to a trusted connection that is really the right connection for them at the right time.
Absolutely. That's business. It should be business 101. But unfortunately, it isn't how business is done. Because we're always thinking about what's in it for me? What's in it for me? That should be the person you're sitting across from should be the point.
It's funny, people are talking about relationship selling, and what they're doing is teaching a process about relationship. It's not relationship, it's still transactional. I mean, it's like, what did you miss in this?
Let's transact this relation speech, right? Yes.
You just took the human element out of it, because once you have an agenda, outside of just wanting to know that person, and the first time we met, that I told you last week, I said, I had followed you before we met, and you weren't aware of it.
No, I wasn't.
And so the thing is that I get excited about hearing what makes up that person's life. How did they get to where they are? Where are they going?
Yes.
What are their dreams?
Yeah.
How many times were they told no? You know, that unspoken reality that is still there for them no matter what age. And, you know, just go for it.
There we go. I think it sums it up is the 2 C words, in my view, is really what creates space. Either you're curious or you're cynical, right? And when people land at one of those 2 places, then you know how involved they are in your story and how really they are really ingratiating themselves toward what you're bringing forward.
Right.
It makes so much difference, doesn't it?
And when you're curious, you become a true people magnet.
Absolutely.
You don't have to
They
worry about
love you.
chasing people. They will find you.
They will.
Right. The best way to be interesting is to be interested.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Nugget number 5. Okay. Amanda, you know, you're in this process and real communities are formed in the space that you're in right now.
Yes.
Small business is the power to create community, right?
Yep.
So what are you doing? What's your challenge right now in being blasted out of the gate into this new place? We know all of the benefits of doing it, family, et cetera, not being gone, all those things. But as you look into this, what are you most challenged by?
You know, I think for all small business owners, as you start to put yourself out there and get your, this is what I am and this is what I bring, right? And you gotta talk about that and be open to talking about the gift that you bring in a way that's genuine and real, right? So it's getting in front of people with that story. But I think the other piece is, so many people, like, they're very interested when I talk about what I do. When I say, this is what I do and this is what I bring, they're like, that is exciting, that is cool, that is great. I've got 400 things before I could do that. I've got, we've got to balance this budget and we got to do this and all these things. So having people make the investment in themselves and in their teams in this way is always the challenge for what we do in this space, is always the, this is the last thing that we invest in.
Yes.
And getting people to understand. And it's really the stories when people interact with any one of us. Like you said, it's a relationship. When they know, and you get a story not from Amanda Nelson saying, yes, I do this thing and it's really great and you should come do it. It's somebody else who's done it saying, your team really should do this, right? So it's really just it's just getting it rolling and getting people to, overcome that just resistance of investing in themselves and their teams.
Yeah, well, we've never had to face that, have we? Yeah.
Something I will say, this is a pivot for Amanda because she's been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
And she's been doing it more on the corporate level. She has had every label, every letter behind her name. And so this is not new. This is just on her. This is pure Amanda now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We see that, and I think the shift for me was the same. you know, and most people that go in, because there's a reason we're doing this in corporate life. There was a part of us of our design, of our individual design that leads us to those spaces. Now, how do we do it in a way that really maximizes it for other human beings? And that's where you are right now.
That's right.
Right? So is it group or individual?
My big focus is the workshops. I like to do the workshops.
Mm-hmm.
I do have sort of a master's certificate from ATB in coaching. So I do some coaching, but I really, especially with the LPI and doing that, but my sweet spot is getting into groups and doing the workshop and helping them, you know, work it out together is just, that's just my joy.
Sounds amazingly interactive.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
It is. It's a lot of fun. And I say the best workshop, guys, it's not the Amanda Nelson lecture series. The best workshops have the most conversation. So yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Are you partnering with, this isn't becoming part of Gary's space or anything. So yeah, how is it online or in person? Yay.
I've done it on all different formats and setups. The traditional workshop is a 2-day experience.
2-day experience.
Yeah. But we've done it online, and we've done it splitting it up in different hours. It's really it's their workshop. It's not my workshop. It's when we do one, it's their workshop, right? What they need to get out of it, and however we can get somebody to the work of learning more about themselves and being the best leader they can be. I'll do it any which way I can. I'll do it on standing on my head if I have
to. True Kansas girl.
Yeah. Make your own fun.
That's right. Yeah. So, same question to you, my friend. Let me ask you, because you've been in 2 years. You're 26 years old, in business for 2 years already, Bryan. What has been something that you've had to overcome as you're creating this business? How do you do it?
What is something that I need to overcome?
Or
how am I doing?
Yeah, something that you have overcome, and how did you do it?
I think...
or you can reframe it the way you said it, if it's more comfortable.
No, I think what took the most time to overcome was, am I crazy? Because
I love the wisdom from this young man.
If you're looking for something easy, don't become an entrepreneur. And I had to practice what I preached for a long time before it started working for me. Because those small, consistent actions have usually a hockey stick return. And that flat part of the hockey stick is usually about a year. 8 to 14 months
easily
of just every day working at it, talking to people like Gary, and saying, "Am I crazy?" And ignoring the no's and the yeses, and just staying true to what I had decided I'd do.
And if you're your young bride, what's her take?
Oh, she's my number one supporter.
Oh, that's so awesome.
We found a way to make it work, and I tell you, it worked. So we live in Centennial, which is a huge blessing, because I meet with clients in the office downstairs or the coffee shop a mile from my house.
Yeah.
And I can be there for my daughter and watch her as she starts smiling and learning all these tiny little things. She'll throw her arms up in the air and like, oh my gosh, she's so strong. And it's just, I'm able to be there for that. And
isn't that awesome?
Yeah, and it's a result of staying on that flat return part of the hockey stick curve long enough to see it take off.
Yes. That's awesome. Yes, so it's taken off. It has. You're stoked.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
Show a little bit more excitement in that. Yeah.
It feels wonderful. Gary upstairs, he just called me melancholy. I promise I'm more fun than that.
I didn't say melancholy can be fun.
Okay.
But typically it isn't. That's why it's called melancholy.
Make your own fun. How about that?
Make your own rules.
There you go. Stick to them.
There we go. Right on. so your business is called Peak One Coaching.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Peak One Coaching. Gary, what you got coming up? What do people need to know about?
You know, I mean, another pivot, because I do a business building boot camp once a year. Number 44 is coming up. I didn't do them once a year. I used to do them multiple times. So
Okay.
I am not 90 again. But what I have found is that I want to go deeper. And so the next one in September will be a hybrid. It will be somewhat of what the old and somewhat of the new. And we're doing speaker training. I have training speakers all over the country, and we do those 3-4 times a year. And we're doing a branding, and I'm looking for where people are needing the help. And because so much of the time, the thing that I'm finding out there is people are spending a tremendous amount of money for a promise that never is fulfilled.
Yes.
And people are just being,
And it's really hurting the whole industry.
We're all having to face that.
We have to deal with that. Yeah.
And when you don't charge some of the same rates as some of the other people, they go, well, you must not be that good. And you go, well, whatever. But
I'm trying to help you.
My coaching practice continues to expand. I'm actually within 1 or 2 people of being completely full on the individual one, because I enjoy that. But I also have groups, and so I enjoy that. So I'm kind of this hybrid, I'm a squirrel. I like it, if I do one thing too many times over and over again, I'm bored.
Yeah.
So,
well, some of and I give him some props, because some of the things that you've shared with us and some of the things Lisa and I are coming out with in the new year. Yeah, so the best form of flattery is imitation, right? So I'm imitating you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. My percentage. You guys, I know a little bit about what you guys have coming up, and I'm excited about it. In fact, I'm coordinating some of the things that you don't know that Lisa talked to me about.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I really believe in you guys and what you're doing, but also this new impact that's taking. We live in a complete world now. We're not limited to our region or city.
No.
And because of that, when somebody looks out and says, I have a product or service, it's how can I offer it to the world instead of here? So, doing whatever the numbers are. Numbers are, boring.
Yeah.
They really are.
You get very bored. Joshua loves numbers. See the face. See, he perked up immediately when you said number.
But it's what the number does. And you have to have the numbers, but what does the numbers do?
Exactly.
And so doing the groups, being able to expand, be able to do it in a broader sense, so you don't have to charge as much. The investment can be lower.
Yes.
I follow the Walmart scenario. Sam Walton. He says, I can serve the masses and live with the classes, or serve the classes and live with the masses. That's how Walmart was created.
Wow. Wow, what a philosophy, right? Yeah, so how do people reach you, my friend?
GaryBarnesInternational.com. That is still my email address, but I also have a free gift. It's freegiftfromgary.com, and I have in my group the free 30-day membership for anybody that would like to come in, and I call it the pink spoon. You go into 31 flavors, you get to go in and taste the ones that you like and the ones you don't. But,
all apologies to Baskin Robbins.
Yeah. It's still my pink spoon. But, really, I am a connector like you and Lisa. And, if anybody has questions, my email address is, I answer my own personal emails.
Yes, that's good. Well, sometime we do have a virtual assistant as well. But yeah. So same thing with you, young lady. I want, we're invested in your making it, right? And doing well. You put in a lot of work on the back end to be at the place that you are today with a lot of valuable things to offer people. So tell me something before you give your contact information. Tell our people something encouraging.
So something encouraging.
Yeah,
Well,
and hopeful.
The thing that number one, we believe in the leadership challenge, and that we're out telling everybody is everybody's a leader. Everybody, and you have it within you. You know, every single person can lead, and you're leading for not just in your 9 to 5. You're leading your families and your kids and your communities and all the people that you. So the thing that you need to know as if you're a leader, and you are, is that you got to know you make a difference, right? You make a difference for somebody else every single day.
Yes.
And that difference really, really matters. So.
Indeed. And how do they reach you?
You can reach me at amanda.nelson@choiceleadership.net, and that's my website. Site is choiceleadership.net.
Okay, choiceleadership.net.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. And Bryan, tell people something encouraging and give them some contact.
It takes time, and you're not crazy. Probably.
And you could be.
Yeah. It's not for me to decide.
Right.
If you want to get in touch with me, that's Bryan at peak1coaching.com. Bryan with a Y, so Bryan. Peak1coaching.com. Let's get to work.
Let's get to work. Indeed. You have a parting statement?
Just
Tell these
do
folks something encouraging.
You know, old school, Norman Vincent Peale. Some of the old, Jim Rohn was my first mentor, and he said a couple of things. One is nobody can do your push-ups for you. If you don't, leaders lead. People go out, I mean, it doesn't happen by just thinking good thoughts. But the other thing was whatever you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. And it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter where you are now. If you have the courage, and courage is action in the presence of fear.
Indeed. Courage in the face. Say that again.
Courage is action in the presence of fear.
Indeed. Indeed. Wonderful parting words. Gary, once again, thank you so much for bringing these incredible people on the show with us today.
These guys,
Bryan.
we're in good hands. You know, it truly is.
Indeed. Yeah, part of our succession plan. You didn't know. Yes, so
Sure.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us today on the Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa, minus Lisa, on Motivation Monday. Before we wrap up, let's spotlight our sponsors once more. Crescio and our dear friend Joshua Aguirre is passionate about uplifting the Southeast. And when you partner with his company, you will learn how to automate your sales funnel using tools like ChatGPT. Visit Joshua at Crescio.com to learn more. And my dear friend Karen Butcher with Westco Insurance, she's my agent, and she's also Lisa's agent as well. Karen loves helping people save and get the best service ever. She's been in business for 23 years, as some of her original clients still 23 years later. The great Karen Butcher at WestcoInsurance.com. Our mission is to extend hope and encouragement into our community and beyond, and to help people realize their potential through networking, collaboration, and community involvement. Help us further our mission to others as we continue to reach. We have a goal of being able to have a reach of 100,000 people by June. We have a reach of up to 40,000 a week right now. And with your help, we can get there. Get your business in front of people. Visit our new website at beencouraged.net to become a sponsor and get your business name out there to our growing audience. Like and follow us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And we're also on LinkedIn. I'm Frank Sinclair, Chief Encouragement Officer for Dream Again Business Consulting, with another wonderful Monday of having incredible people to encourage, uplift, and grant and infuse hope into our community. Have a wonderful day, and as we leave you, always be encouraged.